Hi, my name is Brittany Papworth, and there's a lot of you here. Anywho, so I'm going to go ahead and spoil my story and tell you all now that it's a love story, and I know it's a bit cliche. Thanks, Perry. So this is a love story, and it also starts with online dating. So I guess you could say that I was actively looking for love in the summer of 2012, just a little over 8 months ago, when I would routinely visit the Wake County and Orange County animal shelter websites. But I never could have imagined that I would have fallen in love with the dog that I now call my own. I always imagined myself falling in love with a little fluffy dog, maybe because that was the dog that I grew up with. For my 10th birthday, my parents got me a Yorkshire Terrier. But I had been asking for a dog long before my 10th birthday. One of the first times that I remember asking for a dog was when I was about 6 years old, and I asked my mom, "Mom, can we get a dog?" She said, "No, sweetie, your older brother, he's allergic, we can't have a dog." And little Brittany had no idea what allergic meant, but I knew my older brother was trying to ruin my life and crush all my dreams. So I decided, well, that's not okay, so we're gonna have to do something about him. So I approached my mom later and I said, "Mom, I know how we can get a dog." And she said, How, sweetie?" And I said, "Brandon can live in the basement." And she didn't think that was nearly as clever as I did. And when my dad got home that night, she said, "David, you won't believe what your daughter suggested today." And that's when I knew I'd said something wrong, because some kids know they're in trouble when their parents use their middle name, but I know I'm in trouble when I become my father's daughter. It's never a good thing. But something must have worked. My bedtime prayers, my persuasive elementary school essays, because when I turned 10, I got the dog of my dreams in the form of a 5-pound little furball Yorkshire Terrier. And he was my best friend until he passed away 2 summers ago. So ever since he passed away, I knew that I wanted to get another dog. And the summer of 2012, it just seemed right. But I could not have fallen in love with a dog more different than my childhood love. The dog that I fell in love with this past summer was a 90-pound Doberman Hound mix. He's about as big as me when he stands up. Anywho. So now I want to go to August 1st of 2012. I landed at Raleigh-Durham Airport after traveling for 24 hours from the Alaskan Arctic. I was sleep deprived, I was culture shocked. I had spent 3 months in the Arctic at a very isolated field station doing water chemistry research. But neither of those things stopped me from going straight to the foster home where this dog was that I had been following online. So I get to the foster home and I ring the doorbell and I see this animal barreling toward me. And he looked more like a miniature horse than a dog, which was awesome. And that little pony, he really stole my heart, like, right from that moment. And I adopted him 2 days later, which, mind you, was 48 hours before med school orientation was going to start. Because I decided med school was not going to be expensive enough, and it wasn't going to be time-consuming enough, so I needed to get a dog. And I named him Keenan after the UNC football stadium, the undergraduate chemistry labs, and the music building where I spent like 99.9% of my time as an undergraduate. But Perry told me that every good story has conflict. So while the last 8 months of my life have been arguably some of the most wonderful, they haven't quite been conflict-free. And the transition from undergrad to med school was really difficult, especially on my relationship. My boyfriend and I had a really hard time going from living as undergrads to then me being a medical student. And he really thought that my decision to adopt Keenan it was really detrimental to our relationship, and ultimately, only 8 weeks after school started and after I adopted the dog, we broke up, and we've been together for almost 2 years. It was really hard, and when I think back on that, and I think, wow, how much of a role did this dog play in that relationship ending, and is that a good thing or not? But I really think that he didn't understand exactly how important Keenan was to my life and exactly what he meant to me. So I'm going to try and express that now. And so when I got Keenan, it was my promise to myself that my life doesn't stop because medical school started. And he grounds me. So I often come home in an academic fog. But then there's a dog there, and he's my distraction, he's my anti-anxiety, he's my reminder that I have to get out of my own head because I have something else to take care of. Something that needs to be fed, something that needs to be walked, something that needs attention, because Lord forbid I'm in the same room as this dog and don't have one hand on his head at all times. I also come home feeling emotionally drained a lot, like I've given all of myself to school, to everything else, and I have not a lot left for me. But I know that waiting on the other side of my apartment door is this panting with excitement, tail pounding on the floor, 90-pound animal that's so excited that I'm home. And I open the door and everything is better. Everything is okay. He's my unconditional love and support. He's my silent company, something that listens without judgment. And it's a good thing he can't talk, because if he could, I'd be in really big trouble. He knows everything about me and what goes on. He's really, really, really crucial to me, to my well-being, to my life. And yeah, it's expensive to have a dog, especially when that dog decides that everything on the kitchen counter belongs to him. Although we just found out about 30 minutes ago he doesn't like spinach, so owners 1, dog 0. And it's a lot of hard work to have a dog, especially when that dog decides that if there's a squirrel within a 100-yard radius, he's going to pull his owner down the block, and that's like a daily occurrence. But yeah, he's also worth every single sacrifice that I've had to make. So this is a picture of him. Yes, thank you. Some people carry around wallet-sized photos of their children, but I'd like to remind you that the size of the photo is proportional to how much you love them. That's him. And, you know, do I sometimes miss having the love of a human significant other? Yeah, all the time, and I could tell a whole nother story about my struggles to find a relationship in medical school, but ain't nobody got time for that. But would I trade the love of my dog for the love of a significant other right now? And that, absolutely not. So I have this sticker on the back of my car, and it says, "Who rescued who?" And I could leave it as a rhetorical question, but I'm going to spoil it for you and tell you that Keenan rescues me from myself every single day. And I can't wait to find out where the rest of our love story is going to take us. So, thank you. Excellent.